But all right, moving on to our week 2 preview. I actually frothed this part of the podcast for some reason. Really enjoyed just making predictions. So we've got our sure bet of the week. So something you think you're just going to put your house on. Upset of the week. So which underdogs do you like this week, basically? And then we're going to talk a little bit about game spreads, which betting lines are the most appealing for you this week. Obviously, don't. Just because we say something's appealing, don't go and put money on it unless you believe it. Yeah, exactly.
Don't chase your losses.
Exactly. I think you need to listen to that yourself, probably. But who's your sure bet of the week?
Well, I just sort of got on. I looked at the weather forecast. It's going to be pouring for the Carlton Collingwood game. So I created a little 5-leg multi. Actually, I hope you don't mind me doing that. In case you want to get on it. So I've got. It's under 164.5 points. I don't see any team scoring above 80 or 90 points for the game, considering the conditions it's going to be, and considering they don't have the strongest forward lines, and because Collins' defense is obviously really good. So I'm going the unders there to go any time, because I do think he does sort of fire in the wet, and he'll be hungry after last week. I've got just a couple of 20 touches, so Walsh starting Cripps. That's paying $3.50. So if you want to chuck maybe 10, 15 on that, make 30, 40, $45, that'll pay for a tank of petrol, and you're golden. So $3.50. If you want to power play that, feel free to if you have one. But unfortunately, I've used all mine up on losses. So, yeah.
Yeah, my sure bet of the week's pretty dull, I'm going to be honest. But I was looking at the games. There's actually not too many certainties this week. Round one's throwing me off a few teams. I think Sydney to beat Adelaide. It's not great value. It's like $1.40. But I think I'm not backing Adelaide to back up last week's performance. I think Sydney will be too good at home. But I'm going to be very, very safe here. I'm going to say Port Adelaide to beat Essendon.
Oh, you wouldn't have believed it.
Yeah, $1.14. So basically, everyone agrees with me.
Yeah.
But they played last year in round 17. Port won by 50 points. So, I just can't really see a world where Essendon win this now. Watch them go ahead and win it, and we can all laugh at me next week, but surely not. Surely Port will be. I think Port have kind of reached that level where they're pretty good at dispatching at the bad teams, which is something they struggled with back in like 2017, 2018. So I think they won't be slipping up here against Essendon. Upset of the week, mate. There's a couple that are interesting, I reckon. But what are you looking at?
Yeah, well, after last week, I can't pick a sure bet winner this week. And I'd have to say Port Adelaide's probably the safest. But the upset of the week, I've got maybe the Eagles over the Dogs. I think the Eagles are coming in. They were coming in over $2. I think obviously the Dogs got the much better, more superior midfield. I don't see Josh Bruce and all that replicating what they did. I know they were against the Collingwood defense, which is probably one of the best in the comp, but Eagles is nearly just as good. Barras, McGovern, Hearn rebounding off. And plus they've got the forward line though that Collingwood lacked. They've got Oscar Allen. They've got Liam Ryan, Darling, and Kennedy. So I reckon the Eagles are definitely a sniff there. Might chuck a quick bet on them as well. But what have you got?
Just quickly on that one, I really like that call. I was looking at, because you know how they've got the big MCG like hoodoo that everyone talks about. I was checking out how it translates to Docklands, and I think they've actually won their past 5 games at Marvel. So their troubles don't really seem to travel across the city. So I think that's a very good upset chance. My other one is GWS to beat Fremantle. I'm a big fan of Fremantle this year. I think they're going to be a good team, but I can't really get out of the mindset that GWS are a good team. I'm not really accepting that they're bad yet. So I was not surprised they were underdogs, but I was surprised it wasn't a little bit more even than it is. They're paying like $2.10, I think. They played last year, and GWS beat them by 38 points in Perth in front of 20,000 people. So
I believe that was with Josh Kelly going down at like half time as well. I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure it was that game. So if he'll be playing a full game, so
beautiful. I didn't watch too much of the St Kilda game, so I'm sure you saw more of it than me, but I think to only lose to St Kilda by 8 points, I think is a pretty good effort. A lot of people are predicting to be a top 4 team, so I'm going GWS to beat Fremantle. Do you think that's an average call, or do you think that's a chance?
No, I definitely think that's a chance. I know last time they beat them by that much. They did have Kelly go down. They had Jake Riccardi come out and kick 4. They obviously don't have him or Cameron this week because I think Riccardi might still be injured. But no, I definitely like that call. It'll be a good test for the likes of Cherry and Brayshaw and Sarong in the midfield against, Josh Kelly and Cornelio, and Jacob Hopper looks like taking the next step as well. So it'll be interesting to see how Freo respond to that. They will be in front of their home crowd, which will help. So it's almost like whether they can sort of test the bigger teams of the competition. I know GWS, I'm not accepting that they're a bad team either. But for Freo to take the next step, they've got to beat all these sides that are sort of equal with them. I've got them equal with them at the moment, roughly. So yeah, it'll be a good test of both teams, I think, this week. But I do like that call of GWS coming over the top of them.
Yeah, and then looking at the betting lines, I'm actually going to start one off that you're going to like. I never know the terminology for this, but I just say I just read it like a maths equation. I just go minus 10.5. I don't know if it's like under 10.5 or something, but St Kilda minus 10.5 to beat Melbourne. I was looking at it. They've won 6 of their last 7 at Marvel. Everyone knows they're a pretty elite Marvel team. I think last year they beat Richmond there.
Yeah.
They beat one of the other big teams there. I can't really remember. And in those 6 victories that they've had at Marvel out of their last 7, all but one of them has covered this spread. So I think one of them they only won by 3 points. The rest were like 15 or more. So Melbourne, yes, I had them in my winners earlier, and I think they were good last week. Dispatched to Freo, which could have been a tough game, but yeah, I think St Kilda at Marvel to be only minus 10.5. I think that's very good value in my opinion. I'd probably say they should be like minus 25 or something personally, but that's just me.
Yeah.
Do you have any others you like?
I was liking North Melbourne's line at 18.5 against Gold Coast. I think North will put up a good fight. I'm not necessarily saying they'll win, but I do think they'll come close. I think we saw on the weekend Gold Coast was unable to sort of push West Coast right to the end. West Coast got a few at the end of the match. So I think North Melbourne will be able to run out the full game because they got toppled by Port Adelaide in that second quarter. But apart from that, they were never truly out of any quarter. They came out of the blocks firing and tested Port Adelaide early. So I've got North Melbourne's line at 18.5 there. So even if they lose, I'm going to hopefully be praying it's by like less than 3 goals. I like that one. Yeah,
that's a very good one. I've gone in a similar sort of fashion with my next one. Big underdog, but I've gone Hawthorn at plus 30.5 against Richmond. Look, this one's a big risk, I'll admit, because obviously Richmond, they're a gun team, but I've watched Alistair Clarkson's podcast on the Dylan Friends show, and I'm in love with the great man now. He seems like just a great bloke.
Yeah.
And I don't know, it just doesn't seem like a Hawthorn thing to get blown out. I know that the last few years they've not been as good as they were 5 or 6 years ago, but I don't know. I just could see them not beating Richmond, but just maybe having a close, tight game, and hopefully some weather comes in and makes it a little bit more scrappy game. That might suit Hawthorn, but yeah, I just hope they don't get blown out. Really, just praying.
Yeah,
not too much logic behind it. Just backing in the Hawthorn grit.
Yeah.
Do you have any others?
No, that's it. I think last year I chucked a lot of money on Richmond to beat Hawthorn in, I think it was around 3 or 4 clash. Because they did the bet easy thing where you sign up in an account and you get like $5 odds. You got $5 odds for Richmond, a lot too easy, free money. And then Hawthorn just came out and just destroyed them. So, I definitely wouldn't be surprised if that happens now because I thought that was just never going to happen last year. It did. So I don't want to be proven wrong twice. So I can see that happening. Of course I can. So I've got no others really. I'm looking at the fixture now. But yeah, I think that's all pretty set sail. I'm actually going to chuck probably a couple multis on now. I like the sound of all these. So I think we've wrapped it up well there.
It's a miracle! Oh yeah! What about that one? Unbelievable! Balotelli, Aguero! Crowd cheers. Here's Siddle.